Wyatt, go ahead. You were talking about deals purchasing weapons.
Yeah. Armin, do you know what kind of a California Okie saying wheeling and dealing means? It means if you buy something, you kind of get something for free. Like we were in the oil fields, we used to go and buy 10 trucks and say, well, if we buy 10 trucks, will you throw one in for free? And they'd either say yes or no. If they say no, you tell them to fuck off. The town I live, there's 13 military factories. There's Lockheed Martin, the biggest Conenberg's factories here, and smaller factories too. And you got a lot of connections. And well, Lockheed Martins, they make military drones. You've got a lot of connections, and I was thinking maybe if you talk around and if you can throw business their way, maybe we can make a deal where they throw something in for free and the Iranian people get it. The guy across the river, he makes Pumas. He specializes in Pumas. It's an armored vehicle. He's a Trump supporter. He's pro-Israeli. He's a cooler and fuck people. And I kind of think he would be, because he's a smaller business, he actually may be interested in it. But like Israel or something would buy 10 of his vehicles, maybe throw one in for free.
So I think what as Jeffrey points out a lot, I think what the Iranian people need the most, which is easier to get into Iran, are just drones, right? Because those things are big and moving them is difficult. And I think you're not going to get the biggest bang for your buck with regards to how expensive they are and how difficult it would be to move them into Iran. I think what you need to, there's two things. Either you need to get more drones into Iran for the Iranian people, or if that fails, I think the next plan should be to identify the people within the Iran that we know are on our side and just pay them to buy drones that are already in Iran and pay them to just turn those already existing drones that you could just buy in the markets in Iran that already exist and turn them into deadly weapons, like that is a strategy that might be the most effective if nobody starts, if we don't get anywhere with getting arms from outside into Iran. I think whatever money that we're thinking on spending for arming the Iranian people would be more effectively spent if we just, transferring that money with crypto wallets to the people that we have identified as safe inside Iran, and then getting proof from them that they are buying drones and equipping them with what's needed to be able to fight it back against the Islamic Republic. I think that would be the most effective strategy, and it's the easiest one to do. And also, you don't have to deal about the logistics. Yeah.
The armored, also they make a thing here called a protectorate. I guess there's different kinds of protectorate, but one of them is like a remote control tank where you can control from the internet. It's unmanned. There's no people in it. I was looking at that. It looks like something out of a Terminator or something. It's a robot tank that you just run. I guess I'm not sure how far. Maybe it can be anywhere, but I know you run it remote control. So just something to think about.
Yeah, I mean it is. I'm assuming that's going to be very hard to get inside Iran without the IRGC seeing it and stopping it. I mean, is like whatever complications and the financial costs and the logistics complications involving with doing that, the money that you spend on buying that thing and the money involved with getting I think the money that you need to spend on actually getting that into Iran is more than the money on buying the equipment itself. That's how complicated the situation is, right? So I think that the same money, if it was spent on just finding crypto wallets by the Garda Javidan, the immortal guards inside Iran, that has been verified by Princess of Pahlavi's team as safe, as people who they have vetted, and then sending this to their wallets. There's already drones that you could buy inside Iran, and it's actually not that difficult to turn them into weapons, right? So I think that would get the biggest bang for your buck. But I mean, I don't. Yeah. I'll let the military experts. I see Jeffrey is in the put it too, so we'll see.
Yes.
We'll get his opinion.
Jeffrey, I have some thoughts on this. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
So, very good thoughts. That's very much centers around the kinetic line of effort regarding the broader Track 2 material support strategy that was outlined and sent to some people. Here's the rub. There's a couple. I love your thinking. And Armin pointed out one of the issues regarding, you know, armored vehicles being transported in would be almost impossible to get in. And even if you did, the kind of environment that you'd be fighting in and the actors you'd be fighting against would probably blow that thing apart pretty quickly, because armored vehicles are very much vulnerable to things like VBIDs and friggin', you know, anything, right? I mean, like mount situations are not a good spot for armored vehicles. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying they don't have any advantage. I'm just, so still very good thinking though. As far as remote piloted ground, you know, vehicles, any weapon system that is that you can use over and over again, much less singly even, or much less over and over again. If it's a man in or on top of the loop type system, meaning it has an open network, very much vulnerable to being hacked, which is why all of like drone warfare is very much moving. Like in the interim, it was like, what is it, you know, wire guided, you know, filament guided FPVs, and that's only as a stand-in to fully autonomous weaponized drone swarms, which are already all over the battlefield, and you don't have any men in on top of the loop, so there's no signal to jam. So getting things in, like, so donating those, getting like US companies to donate stuff, again, not a bad idea. This is actually what a lot of Ukraine's diaspora did. To do that, there is like a whole host of legal gates you got to follow, like otherwise you will go to prison for every infraction of a State Department ITAR's like regulation. It's 10 years in jail and $1 million fine. There's no pleading it out. You will serve them consecutively. So if you send, say, 10 illegal items, you will die in prison. And the bad guys, whether it's the regime remnants, Putin's criminalized counterintelligence, HICOMs, they would almost assuredly weaponize our law system against any pro-resistance network, and just have our legal system do the work for them. So I mean, I don't want to belabor it and go through all the laws, because it's actually one of the, that's like in, actually that's volume 2, right? It's all law and legal gates. So what do we do? Because it's not like we should do nothing. There is very much a reason why me and others very like have been a broken record on leveraging Ukrainian defense forces, not the least of which is Ukrainian derived weapon systems have a lower cost per kill and or a lower cost and production exchange ratio, which means, or they have a higher cost of production exchange ratio, meaning advantage for the good guys. And you get around a lot of end of use regulations and stuff. Not all. The other thing is, I'll say this: you can even do on top of Armin, if you fund it through His Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi. If in his, you know, His Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi headed up transitionary government is recognized as the official government in exile, that really much streamlines a lot of legal gates. They're not all gone. Very much makes it a lot easier. And now you can start donating to, say, things like Ukrainian forces who produce, I don't know, 257 FP5 Flamingo missiles, each costing, say, $250,000. And let's say you have people who grab like a very large oil tanker the mullah regime uses to try and reconstitute itself via illicit oil sales, and liberate that via letters of marque, and then sell that on the open market to the allies, and you make $1 billion. That $1 billion means that 4,000 targets inside Iran are going to have a real bad fucking day. Yeah. So, I mean, all good thinking, not saying that that shouldn't be done. If you want, you should reach out to me when I start doing, I'm going to say this to you. I just want to remind you, let's teach me how to set up my own school session so I can go through those classes, Armin, so people can see what that exactly means, so we can actually start focusing a lot of this understandable and very much desirable energy towards like avenues that will have outputs, and also be, you know, make sure we don't violate any laws, rules, or regulations, so we can sustain those efforts. Because this is like, people want to help Iranian resistance side Iran, they should. I just want to make sure that we get the maximum return from the amount of energy invested and minimize whatever risk that's there. So all good thoughts. Hopefully I helped hammer some of that out. You know, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I mean, you could once stay in touch with me on Telegram. We'll go from there. Yeah.
All right. And I would just like to point out that when the classes start, I'm going to be the teacher's pet monkey.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.